Look at us up on Doc Real TV.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Doc Real TV. This is the second part of the tutorial for Adobe Audition. And what we're going to do here is we were working on the last time importing an actual file, a sound file, starting from what I call 0. So if you haven't seen that episode, I'd say go all the way back because it has some key commands that I actually show you how to start it from the beginning of this tutorial, and that way you'll know where you're at. So if you want to go ahead and go right back to that tutorial, there should be a button right on this side of the screen and you'll be able to see that and click that button, and that's it. Let's keep going for the people who have seen the first tutorial. And basically what I want to get to right away is that we left off where we said we would record or start to show how the bus would be set up, or how you would use whatever device you were using to record audio to get audio in to your computer, or to get audio in to Adobe Audition and record it. So as you see right now, if I click this button, I don't have any sound coming into Adobe Audition. Unfortunately, that means that I can't record anything. So this button right here is called the Arm for Record button. And as you look through these buttons, most people know that the S means solo, the M means mute, but the Arm for Record button is only a push actual device that, I mean, you can only push it and arm it and get it ready. Now there is a way to record, but before we do that, we need to make sure we have the proper input, or we have the proper the bus is properly directed to the right channels here. And I don't even know if that's the right way to say it anymore, because it seems like we use inputs more than we use buses like in the olden days. So give me a second and let me pull up a mic real quick, and let's do a couple of things here. All right, here, so I'm pulling up the mic. You probably may or may not be able to see it. Not exactly sure. I can't see the screen as it's recording because what I record is also the screen right here. So, and I also have some sound set up. So first off, we want to go to the buses. All right, so let's break this down. Now, right over here, first thing you want to do is, like I said before, add another mono track. So go back up to multi-track session, go to track and add a mono track. This mono track I'm going to move up, and as you see right here, this little technique, you can go ahead and drag a track in its corner. There's a little grip area right here, and you'll see the hand pop up. When the hand pops up, you can grip and drag a track just that easy, up and down. So that's an extra step right there. I'm going to go ahead and mute this first track because we've already exampled that track or showed that example earlier. Now, this is a track we're going to want to record. So I'm going to push the Arm for Record button so that we know whether or not we're getting sound. And then I'm going to go ahead and, because I am using what is the actual DigiDesign, that's right, sorry, DigiDesign Inbox 2. It's now the Pro Avid or Avid Inbox that is out, the Firewire version. But the DigiDesign Inbox that I have right now, the Inbox 2 Mini 2 or whatever it's called, doesn't work with Lion. So I have to get it to work with Snow Leopard. So that's why I keep this box as my sound box, for those who wanted to ask that question from the last video. But also in this video, you'll also understand that when you're connecting your bus, whatever machine you might be using the EIE, you might be using the Pro Avid, or whatever external audio card that you might be using, you have to make sure the bus is connected to where you want to get sound. So in this case, I'm going to go to mono. That's why I made a mono track, which is DigiDesign Inbox 2. And in the DigiDesign Inbox 2 channel, I actually have plugged in something that I can play.
Look at us up on Doc Real TV.
Now, this is something you guys have heard before, as well as this new one. Sound familiar? So, since that is something I just showed you that I recorded here, that's the piece I recorded, I actually added it into our intros and outros, actually into the outro for Push Button Republic. So now that we've gotten this far with it, you see that the audio is recorded. It showed you, once again, in the
Doc Real TV.
The meter area, it showed you that the meter was actually reading sound. So now that we've gotten sound in, now we're ready to record. So there is a key command for record. I don't usually like to go down here and push this button, but just to show you, I do like pushing buttons, but not those buttons. These buttons on the mouse, it just seems to me more difficult to do so. And if you follow my mouse down, you'll see it says record is equal to shift plus space. Key commands. Key commands save the day a lot of times. So I'm going to go ahead and hit shift plus space. First, give me a second. Let me restart the video, bring it back to the beginning. And I'm going to hit shift plus space and record.
Look at us, sir, on Doc Real TV.
Now, as you see, there's a meter area that shows you a different line.
Push button, baby. Doc Real TV.
As I was saying, there is a area that shows the line that and actually meters.
Look at us, sir, on Doc Real TV.
What you're trying to do here. It meters the sound that you're recording. And as I stop this using the play button, as I showed you, or the space bar, as I showed you in the earlier video. Now, I know I'd scrubbed back instead of push home.
Look at us, sir, on Doc Real TV.
And once you'll see this meter, this line here, which is the volume line,
Push button, baby.
in all intensive purposes is a volume line, and it actually just sits where you're supposed to tell you where 100% is. But if you notice, when you're looking at stereo tracks, it sits only on one part of the track, like you can see up here, right here. But if you're looking at a mono track, it'll show you that 100% is, generally speaking, right about where this line is. Now, you can go a little bit over 100%, but what I generally find is that you start peaking at about 150%. So it's a good judge when you're recording mono. It's great for me, and I've noticed that if I'm generally in this area with my sound, it doesn't peak, it doesn't clip, and it doesn't redline. If you notice, this sound is actually overbearing.
Look at us, sir, on Doc Real TV.
It's not peaking. It's in the right area. And even this one that should peak,
Push button, baby.
it's almost peaking.
Doc Real TV.
Now, I did these sounds purposely to wake people up, shake people up, and break people up. Of course, that is the reason why you do tags, to kind of give people a exciting jolt in what you're trying to film. So for those out there that are filmmakers, don't forget to put in tags and definitely put in some chiron and lower thirds. But to keep going, now that you've seen that I've recorded something, now I'm not just going to show you how to record a sound from an external computer. I want to show you what it's like to also record audio. In this case, I'm going to open up another mono track, and I'm going to go ahead and arm this track and mute the prior track before. I'm going to go ahead and redirect the sound, in this case, to Design Inbox 1, and for this purpose, I had my mic turned off. So I need to go ahead and give it its voltage, because this is a phantom mic. So you need, excuse me, this is a phantom powered mic. So you need phantom power in order to give it the ability to hear sound. Some mics, you'll find most stage mics are actually powered themselves. So you can plug them in, and they either draw power through their 1/4-inch cable, or they draw power through any other source. Sometimes they have a battery in them. But in this case, this is a full phantom powered microphone. So it's a studio microphone. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and record. As you see, I'm getting sound. Everything is good to go. So let's go ahead and record. Shift space. Oh. Now, whenever you have something like that just happen, as you see on my screen, I forgot to move the cursor back. What you can do is Control Z real quickly. Push the home button, and you're right back at the beginning. So, once again, we'll start over. Shift space. And with shift space, we are recording my voice. And I will do some wild things with my voice, go back and forth and in and out. And let's just crank up my volume here. And as you see, my timer's up. But even though my timer's up, we're going to continue this recording until we're done showing you what I'm doing with voice here. And we stop that with space, just like I said before. And as you see, I peaked. I went way too high at one point. And so now I want to show you how the difference between editing in multi-track session and editing in waveform can work kind of simultaneously, but also can hinder each other. Now, you have the ability to edit in the waveform area by just pressing, if you're already clicked on the track, just pressing the number 0. And when you go to the number 0, as you see, the waveform is nice and clean. One of the first things I like to do is this is a beautiful thing for me is to start to take a look to see how far and how bad I peaked. And you can do that by taking your mouse, hovering over the area that you peaked, pressing the Alt button, and scrolling in and out. So that makes it pretty simple for you. And with that said, I'm going to show you when we come back how to adjust the volume on a peak like this, to fix a peak like this, and how to really fix a track up. So now that we've gotten that far, this is the second tutorial, once again, of Adobe Audition, how to import sound, take in sound, funnel in sound, direct in sound through an audio external sound card, or just getting in sound into it and prepping an audio file. The next episode is going to be how to adjust an audio file and to play with some effects. So that's pretty much it. This is Doc Rio signing off of Doc Rio TV. Push button, baby! Doc Rio TV!